Hello everybody and welcome here for my first ever video on TGI Football, as I'm going to be doing the FA Cup quarter-final games predictions of this weekend. And we do have 4 matches, 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday, and these are my official predictions in these games coming up right now on this first ever video on this channel for my predictions. So my first prediction will be at Craven Cottage on Saturday at a 12:15 kickoff between Fulham and Crystal Palace. And Fulham did very well in the last round of their 5th round of the Emirates FA Cup as they won over Manchester United on penalties. But as for the Crystal Palace, however, they won in the last round of the FA Cup to Millwall at Selhurst Park, and the famous Mateta got booted right in the face by the goalkeeper of Millwall. But they went through though over Millwall, and they will both play each other to get into Wembley Stadium for next month in April. And my prediction is going to be a very tough prediction to predict between Fulham and Crystal Palace on Saturday, but I'm going to go for a Fulham win, and Fulham will win the game at extra time in my prediction. So I'm going to go for Fulham 2, Crystal Palace 1, and I reckon that they'll be the ones will be heading through into the semi-finals because they're the home team and a team that have been really building the last couple seasons in the Premier League since being in the Premier League since 2022. And the last 2 consecutive seasons have been very consistent in the Premier League. Or is it 3 seasons consistent? They've really been staying up, trying to progress. They're now in the top half of the table, and I like to see Fulham be the ones to go to Wembley. So I reckon Fulham will go to the semi-finals at Wembley for next month. My official predictions at 5:15 p.m. on Saturday between Brighton Hove Albion and Nottingham Forest. And I've got to say, these 2 sides had a very good season so far in the Premier League. But Nottingham Forest are a big talking point because they've had a real remarkable season so far in the Premier League. And they're currently 3rd in the Premier League. Maybe have a chance to qualify for the UEFA Champions League for next season. There's still a lot of games to play left of the Premier League season if Forest can be in that top 4 or maybe the top 5. It all depends if the English teams get to the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League to obviously open up the 5th position to be 5 teams instead of 4 teams to qualify for the UEFA Champions League. So in my prediction, as Forest are the away team, but they did win 7-0 over Brighton way back in February when they won 7-0 at the City Ground in their Premier League matchup over Brighton. But this weekend on Saturday, they'll both play each other in the Emirates FA Cup. And it's gonna be a tough one because Brighton, I'm gonna really be at it, I think, as well, as they're the home team, and they've had some couple, let's say, there and in results so far in the league. I probably would say that I reckon Forest might even sneakily probably will win this matchup. Not because he won 7-0 over Brighton in February, but I do think that Nottingham Forest will win the game. So I'm going to go for Brighton 0, Forest 2, and that'll be my official prediction in the weekend's game between the 2 sides. My official prediction between Preston North End and Aston Villa. And this will be a very big game. This will be at Preston North End's expense. The only team left from the Championship is still in this competition. The oldest football club who actually won the first major ever Football League champions in the 1888, the 1800s, many years ago when the English Football League was formed. They were the first ever team to win it, and that was many years ago. But they do play against Aston Villa, a real proper team, have had a very good season under Unai Emery, and they're trying to aim for a potential push to try and get to the UEFA Champions League semi-finals if they can end up beating PSG in the quarter-final stages of the Champions League in a couple of weeks' time. But as of my prediction on Sunday between Preston North End and Villa will be an easy win for Villa, and I think they'll be going to Wembley Stadium, I reckon, and I reckon the matchup result will be Preston North End 1, Aston Villa 3, and Villa will be the ones who will go through into the semi-finals at Wembley Stadium for the next round of the Emirates FA Cup. Now, my official prediction between Bournemouth and Manchester City, and a very good victory for Bournemouth in the last round of the Emirates FA Cup at the Vitality Stadium by knocking out Wolves on penalties. And they do play against the mighty favourites to probably likely to win the FA Cup this season, and that is Manchester City. Despite Man City had a very, very poor season so far, despite them not going to win the Premier League title for the first time in 5 consecutive seasons, this Premier League title, as Liverpool are miles and miles away from everybody in the Premiership. But I do fancy Man City really going through past Bournemouth at the Vitality Stadium. I know Bournemouth did actually beat Man City in the Premier League way back in November, a few months back in the first part of the season. So that might be a good record for Bournemouth to try and get a little bit of confidence, to try and lift themselves, to try and beat the favourites of Man City on Sunday in the quarter-finals of the Emirates FA Cup. But I do think my prediction will be a win for Manchester City. I know Bournemouth did win against Man City way back in November in the Premier League at the Vitality Stadium, but I think Man City have got a lot of moments in this matchup to try and get the win over the line over Bournemouth. So I'm going to go for Bournemouth 1, Manchester City 3. And I think Man City will be the ones who will go to Wembley and play in the semi-finals of the Emirates FA Cup. And that's all we have time for here right now for all my predictions of the Emirates FA Cup quarter-finals. And if you like the TGI Football YouTube channel and these videos that I publish on this channel, please leave a like and also subscribe. And I've got other YouTube channels as well on my subscription to follow, as well as there are links above on my profile, like TGI Gamer, TGI Wrestling Productions, and so many other accounts will be on my links on this channel. So hope you give them a follow if you're interested in gaming or football, or even interested in football itself and also gaming, as I just said to you right now.